This week on Not Another Shooting Show.
I informed him he was allowed to use his thigh strap.
Masad Ayub says that's bad to do.
Beavertail poked him in his fat.
The Stoeger M3000 that actually works after I replaced most of the trigger parts.
The woman running with a J-frame revolver making headshots.
He's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show. Have you ever been to Eau Claire, Wisconsin, Jeff? Yes, you have. We shot a match there.
We did shoot a match there. The Wisconsin sectional with when Ben Stager was the match director.
Yeah, 2021, I think that was.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, the cops in Eau Claire, Wisconsin say a man was hurt when he accidentally shot himself outside a downtown bar over the weekend.
Uh-oh.
Police say on early Sunday morning, that was March 10th, they were called for a person who had been outside of Scooters, and a man had a gunshot wound to the forearm, was taken to the hospital. The gun was also located. Police say multiple witnesses outside a crowded bar told officers the man was showing his gun off to someone when he accidentally shot himself. Building security video confirmed witness statements. So when you're outside a bar, Jeff, do you show people your gun?
You know, it's not on my list of things to show off when I'm at the bar.
No. Okay. Well, that's one way of going about life, I suppose.
I mean, if I'm showing off a gun, I don't tend to point it at my own forearm, like, basic gun safety and all that noise. But
I mean, for a gun-friendly state, your state has some draconian things in its gun laws.
Oh yeah, we are we hate freedom and we are proud of it.
There's some really dumb stuff. Like, isn't it true you can have firearms in your home but not in the bathroom? Isn't that a thing? You're not allowed to take a shit with your pistol in the bathroom.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. They didn't teach that in my concealed carry class that you were required by law to take.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
No.
Past constitutional carry. But
Yeah.
No, that would not surprise me as one of those silly laws. We are a duty to inform state. We are.
Yeah, you're the only one around here that is.
You can't open carry it, you didn't used to be able to open carry in Douglas County, which is what basically Omaha is.
Oh, that's the best thing though. When constitutional carry happened in Nebraska, though, was they got rid of they instituted a state preemption of all local firearm laws. So only
Omaha
the
was
state.
not happy.
Yeah, no, Omaha and Lincoln were pissed because only the state can make firearms law, which it's only fair when people are trying to follow the law and it's like, Jesus, I got to follow 18 different things.
Well, we had a pistol registry, only pistols. But your
really?
we had a pistol registry, but your CCW preempted it. So if you have a CCW license, you didn't have to go down to the police station to get their okay to get your pistol. So if you bought a pistol in the Omaha city limits, they would say, okay, cool, here's the slip, go down to the police department, and you just walk up to the desk and the dude just scribbles some shit, and then you take that back to Cabela's or whatever, but because the best part is Omaha's like 7 small little cities, and so if they weren't annexed yet, it didn't count. And so the Cabela's was actually in a non-annexed place for like 4 years, and so they were like, we don't care. And then they got annexed, and so I only had to do it once before I got my CCW, and then it was like, oh, this is dumb.
In South Dakota, I walk in, I give them money, I fill out a form, and I walk out. Doesn't matter if it's a pistol or not. It's pretty nice. I enjoy it. But that's the way it is there now too, right?
In general, I haven't bought a pistol in a while.
Okay. Anyway, moving on. We've got more interesting things to talk about than that. MW Activewear, our show sponsor, we got cool jerseys. Michelle is doing the jerseys for the Great Plains Hit Factor Championship. They're for sale right now, by the way, if you're registered for the match. That link has been sent out to get those, so you can buy a jersey for that match. And if you're running a match, definitely get a hold of Michelle. She will make your life easy when it comes to jerseys, shirts for your match, and while they cost a little bit more than just like regular old T-shirts that you might have printed up, they look way cooler and they're a lot less expensive than other jerseys you would get. So in the show notes for this podcast, there's a link to MW Activewear on Instagram. You can get a hold of her there.
And if you're worried about durability, I wear them fighting other human beings,
Yeah.
and they have lasted me a year at least.
Speaking of matches, Great Plains Hit Factor Championship, we've got like 24 spots, something like that, left. If you're interested. The funny thing is there's a lot of room on Sunday this year. Everybody and their dog took the Saturday slots like immediately.
Oh,
Like Saturday's been full since like the second day of registration or shortly thereafter. So if you're interested in, hey, wherever you are in the country, you can, we had people from Arizona last year. We had a whole crew from Arizona last year. Wherever you're from, I know there's a guy from Florida going to be there. If you're coming in, hey, we still got room on Sunday. If that sounds like a good time to you. It is May 18th and 19th, so 19th is the Sunday.
perfect.
So register on Practice Score. Great Plains Hit Factor Championship. Also, if you're relatively close to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, like say the Twin Cities, Omaha, maybe even like Kansas City, 4 or 5 hours away, we're doing our dark match at my club. If you search on Practice Score for SRSC dark match, you will find it. It's a good time. We're going to shoot in the dark. And Jeff's going to be there.
Yep.
And Steven's going to be there. And, well, I guess you beat me at the rifle match, but he still hasn't beaten me since Iowa section. So he'll get a chance to do that if I'm able to move. I don't know. I got an MRI on my knee tomorrow.
Hey, start those excuses early. Like a good F1 driver, you just start those like pre-race.
I'm just saying, like, if I have surgery and I can't shoot, well,
we'll just call you Hopalong.
Sorry, Steven. Well, then he definitely beat me. Like, if I'm running around with a dumb scooter. I don't think they give you those when they operate on meniscus. But anyway, that's a thing. Also, the Cornhusker Classic is a Hit Factor match. That's happening in down at ENGC, south of Omaha. Look for that on Practice Score. And boom. So we're starting a thing to have some interaction with folks. We started a Reddit subreddit. So look for NASS, Not Another Shooting Show. Get it? I was going to go with Not Another Shooting Show, but they don't allow that many characters. So NASS on Reddit. We've started it there. Interact there. You can post topics. We'll have a topic for each show. Like if you want us to talk about something or whatever, or you just want to talk shit, it doesn't matter. But we've got that now for you to interact with us on Reddit. So there's the thing. Boom. Okay. Jeff, you typed in a thing that I found, well, very close to home. What does the behind the curtain of a major match look like?
Yeah, because a well-run match should feel like nothing happened. Mm-hmm. You just show up, you shoot the match, the scores get posted, you have a hot dog or two, maybe have a cerveza at the end of the match once the pistols are put away, and then you drive home.
Yeah.
Is that what it's like for the match director?
Well, when it's over, yes. But no, there's lots of stuff that happens. I will say this, after you've done a match a few times, it gets easier because you have stuff in place. You already know what to do. So it with time, it gets easier. Every time I literally have a list in my phone of on a checklist app that here's all the stuff that needs to get done. And then after the match is over, I uncheck it all for next year. And so I'm like partially through this list already now for Great Plains. And some of it is, seemed more complicated. Like you would think food would be really complicated. And it can be if you want it to be. If you want to have catering brought in, that's not something I'm interested in doing for a match. But if you want to just have meals delivered that are ready to go, there's your Huckleberry. Like I stole the idea from your guys' match a few years ago, Subway lunchboxes. Cold sandwich lunch. It shows up. It's ready to go. It's one of the questions on the registration page for my match. Do you want turkey, ham, or cold cut? and otherwise
Yeah.
everything else is the same. And because I pick and choose, last year I didn't pick and choose. I let them throw whatever in, so we all got shit cookies instead of chocolate chip. I was a little pissed about that. So this year I'm going to pay extra so that we get chocolate chip. Because
Hell yeah.
macadamia nut and white chocolate is garbage. And as far as the chips go, like I can pick those out, but I'm less picky about those. But the cookie I was a little upset about. But it's super simple. And then the first 2 years I was having my wife deliver them. She would pick them up because I was trying to save money on the delivery charge. And last year I learned...
You're so Midwestern.
Oh, God, I am. And then when we get done looking at the financials of the match, I'm like, oh, yeah, I could have totally paid for delivery. So last year then we just paid to have it delivered. And I found out it didn't really cost any more to have it delivered because if it's over a certain amount, the delivery's free, even if it is 30 miles away. So wish I would have known that sooner. And so does my
Minor
wife.
details. Minor details.
Little details. So as far as food goes, that's the way to do that. The staff lunch we do on Friday. Well, it's not just staff; it's actually shooters too. We have traditionally done pizza from Pizza Ranch in Canton, right there. It's not perfect, but I kind of like, I mean, it's a city-owned range and managed by a private club, so the Subway in town can't do that catering for Sunday, so I like to spend money in the small town for that. So we'll probably do that same thing again this year. But what else is there to get ready?
Right. So
ask me questions. I should just pull out my list.
Right. I was literally just about to say. So run me through your checklist. Like,
okay.
What is your checklist? What's the first thing? What are the first three things that you do at, say, the beginning of the year?
Well,
to get this started.
The list is not in order of priority or order of operation. It's just a whole big list of stuff. Like it's stuff like buy water. Reserve
Water's on the bay.
Yeah, reserve golf carts. Luckily, there's a golf cart rental place just halfway between Sioux Falls and Canton. It's awesome.
But that's one of those little things that like ENGC kind of got lazy because we have guys that bring those things.
Yeah.
But because our match director Todd kind of sat down one day and was like, "Hey, so what if he can't bring that?" They're like, "Oh,
yeah.
What do we do there?" And we also almost flipped a golf cart one time, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Yours is a trickier place to have a golf cart. Like your range is more of a 4-wheeler facility.
Correct.
It's a lot steeper. Although some golf courses can be steep too, but they're usually not like loose gravel.
Right.
4-wheelers are definitely a better. I mean, they're a little more expensive to rent, but I have another thing that's just I mentioned buy the water coolers. Yep. I personally own 2 large coolers. That's not enough for the whole match, so that's a thing I ask the staff to bring, and I just make sure that gets organized.
What about ice?
I fill up my big cooler with ice each morning of the match.
Gotcha.
So actually the night before I'll get those big 25-pound bags at Costco.
Oh yeah.
And if I forget to get those, then I stop at Walmart on the way in the morning. Porta potties. I have a couple extra porta potties brought out from the company. Our range actually has porta potties on the range. We don't have plumbing. So we already have 2 porta potties on the property that we pay for. Well, we own them, but we pay to have them serviced. So we just have another couple brought out for the match. It isn't that spread out of a place, so we don't need that many, but
yeah,
that's a thing.
There's 150 other shooters, so don't want to pull a Nationals mistake. Like when we went to Nationals, they had 4 shitters for a 20-stage match.
And one shitter was, to quote Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation, "The shitter's full!" You could see the shit at the brim of the toilet seat from the bay across the road.
Oh, Jesus.
You didn't see that? You were there too.
I was, and I purposely did not use one of the 4 shitters because I went, there's only 4 of these.
I saw someone. I just happened to be looking over in that direction on day 2 of the match. Someone opened the door, and I could see in, and you could see shit at the top. Like it was like someone had to have hovered the last time they were there. It was
God. Well,
yeah.
hey, as the organizers of Woodstock found out,
Yeah.
shitters need to be your first priority.
Another thing that's on there is test the printers. We have Bluetooth printers for all the tablets. We're getting new tablets this year. Some new tablets will be using some of the old tablets, but not all of the old tablets because some of the old ones are really old and they don't support stuff.
Test the tablets.
We will have. I don't know if we'll have Wi-Fi everywhere on the range by then. We had it in most places last year, but not quite. So we couldn't do the instant scoring.
For your 50-yard bay, I'm assuming.
That and over on the 100-yard as well.
Yeah.
The 50-yard stage, yeah, that's there, and then also over on the 300-yard rifle range where those other 3 bays are, and where Chrono was.
Yeah.
So we had internet over there, but what we found out the biggest problem was actually the older Nook or not Nook, Google Kindle tablets. The older ones did not support instant scoring.
Oh, okay.
They couldn't do it, so that wasn't working anyway. I was still just going to do it because I hadn't approved it with USPSA. This year, if we get the instant scoring, I don't have to have it approved by anybody. So
hell yeah.
I'll just
Screw
do
the
it.
king.
Write the stage briefs. Design the stages is another thing. Yes,
Make sure to read the stage briefs before you put them out there. Please double check them.
So apparently Scott Arnberg did not know that he was partially to blame for all of the unloaded starts last year because on Thursday last week, the episode dropped yesterday, but Thursday last week I recorded an episode of Joel's podcast, the Practical Shooting Training Group podcast with him and Scott about Area 3, and I mentioned that during the podcast that I asked, hey, how many unloaded starts are there going to be at Area 3? He's like, well, not more than we need or whatever. I'm like, so not 6 like at Great Plains last year? When you wrote all the stage briefs? And he was like caught off guard, and I felt kind of bad because I was like, oh, he doesn't know the joke. Okay. I was like, it wasn't completely your fault, but it was partially your fault. You got a little copy-paste happy with part of the stage briefs, and he was like, oh, I didn't know that, but he was completely caught off guard, and I felt bad.
Right, but so just make sure to do one last read through. I know you've probably read them. No, have someone
else read them because I can't see that. No, that's
a good point.
You have to have someone else read through them. And Scott offered to do it last year, and so I was just like, yes, thank God, take it off my plate, whatever. Order staff shirts. Stages designed. The stages are well, I've got a bunch of sketches. I haven't gotten like final designs done, but some of them are. I'm trying to use that Practice Sim Designer, but it's a little more tedious than it's better because you can plan it better, but it's slower than using the Tinker Toys, the 3D stage builder.
And to go a step back from that, any match directors who might be listening to this, farm it out. Contact as many people as possible and like get ideas.
Here's the thing though, Jeff, about that. I've tried to do that. And I know you guys have had good luck with that. Now I've attacked it differently. I didn't just ask people who I knew would kick one out. I've been asking people who are in our section who already run matches. Like, Bruce, are you listening? Where's my stages, bitch? I need some stages for the section, Bruce.
Message Tanfo Timmy.
Yeah, I know.
Because
I know.
He's a good one.
He'll kick one out. But I want some guys in our area to do it. You know.
Yeah, for sure. Like Cody Axon would be a good person to reach out to. He always makes very good stages for us. I'm just saying in general, don't put that weight on your shoulders to come up with 10 ideas and
it's not as good. I mean, I already have several from local guys here, or not several. I've got a couple. One that Robert did last year, and by the way, I don't think it's wrong to use a stage that was from a club match if it's really good. And Robert has twice thrown literally just shit a stage together last minute the morning of the match, and two in the last few years have been just absolutely fantastic, brilliant stages. And the one he did last year was so fun. It was a 3 per paper with drop turners. So because they're 3 per, the drop turners are all of a sudden really interesting.
Okay.
Because you are missing points if you don't shoot them. Because there was a guy who his standard policy is never shoot a disappearing target, and then he got his ass kicked because they're 3 per.
Right, because that's 15 points per drop turner that you are leaving on the table.
Yeah. So he left. Was there 2 on each side or just 1 on each? I think it was just 2 total. So yeah, he left 30 points on the table.
Well, and to go back to it, it's like what other people bring is a different perspective. Is like
just
an
a different
open
flavor.
shooter.
Yeah.
Right. An open shooter is going to build you a much different stage than someone who shoots single stack or one of the other low cap divisions. Like it's just it brings more flavor, and also never be afraid to be like, I love this wall design, but I'm throwing out all the targets and doing something completely different. Like,
yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna, just because somebody sends me a stage, it doesn't mean I'm gonna use it verbatim. You know, like I'll get it and be like, okay, I really like that, but I don't like you wanting to do these all 1 per or whatever. You know, like whatever.
Please don't do 1 per stages.
No, 1 pers
are awful.
They're not if they're speed shoots and you got 8 targets. Then they're kind of fun.
I can see that, but
remember that speed shoot we had the first year?
Oh yeah.
With the popper that was hiding the tux target, and
that one was fun, but like I'm just going back to Area 3 where they used to have the
32
legendary
1 per. No, that's terrible.
Yeah. So okay, so farm out your stages. So you get your stages, check your nooks.
Yep.
Make sure your food and your water is good.
Yep.
What about like
here's a really important one that should be done weeks in advance.
Okay.
Build stage kits. Like putting the shit in the box. So you've got all the pasters that need to be there, staple guns for redoing targets, staples. They've got the stages have everything they need. They're in there ready to go. That seems to be one of the things that always gets left till the end. And
right, because my brain's like, don't you just do that the day of? Like that.
But when you have 12 of them to do.
Okay, it adds up.
It adds up.
Do you have 12 boxes?
Yes, we have the boxes, but we only ever use 2 at a club match. So it's not like we have them all already all the time. Plus, we're borrowing timers from the other club here because we only have 5 or 6. I'm buying a couple more this year, but
do you guys have a Mr. Fix-It that runs around?
Yes.
So
Matt is the man.
What's your criteria for a Mr. Fix-It, and like what does a Mr. Fix-It do for anyone who's like,
here's the thing,
who's Mr. Fix-It?
Mr. Fix, I didn't know. Mr. Fix-It identifies themselves. If you have someone like this at your club, someone who's incredibly mechanically inclined can fix anything. Like Matt is our Mr. Fix-It. And he's an absolute genius. He's the most perfect Mr. No one can have my Mr. Fix-It. Well, I guess you actually, if you could have Matt, like, give him a free match, he would be the best Mr. Fix-It you could ever hope to have. I don't think he's got that kind of time on his hands, but he's so good. I didn't even need to, like, as soon as I got to know him, I'm like, oh, you know how to fix literally everything. You're Mr. Fix-It. And
right.
It was amazing. We had a swinger take a bullet right in the bearing a couple of years ago.
Okay.
How this happened, I have no idea because it's got an armor right in front of it. You know, like it's protected. The bearing that the swinger swings on. Somehow somebody snuck a chunk of bullet and wedged it in there and it just locked it up. It was amazing. And so I mean, we have swingers on hand. We have an identical swinger ready to replace.
Right.
But he didn't even do that. He just grabbed a bearing off of that swinger and replaced it. It was way faster, way smarter, and done. You know, it wasn't like the whole thing broke. He just fixed the part that broke. It was fantastic. So, I mean, Mr. Fix-Its are invaluable.
Another level from like our experience, our Mr. Fix-It, his name's Rich. He's been doing it for 20 years or something like that. Some insane amount. Like he like knows where the problems are going to be and is like you can't replace institutional knowledge. Like if you have this guy, get him an assistant as soon as possible to start sucking up that knowledge as much as possible. But like we were doing our Steel Challenge. We do the Cornhusker Steel Challenge. I believe it's in September or October this year. And he has like boards cut. Like he knows what boards are going to get shot more than the other ones, and they're just sitting. He has 3 of them sitting on the bay, just that specific board, because he knows.
Well, remember the cable port last year?
Oh yeah, yep.
The thing that was the most amazing was it didn't break all weekend except for the handle.
Oh yeah.
Like the handle broke.
I want to say it was my squad that it actually broke on.
It was a dude from Minnesota that broke it.
Okay.
I can't think of his name off the top of my head because it was my son's Ninja handle. He wanted a competition. It was like a hold. It was like, awesome. A thing that they swing from,
Yeah.
And that's what it was. And I thought it was made of a metal. It was actually plastic. It was a lot flimsier than I thought. But anyway, it hit the pole and broke. And this was this idea I had of like a quadruple pulley system. And so you had to pull it back kind of far to get the port to open up enough.
Yep.
And so you couldn't just yank it. You had to back up and like hold it behind you to minimize that distance. And I couldn't believe it worked all weekend. Matt had all these things ready to go to replace parts, and he didn't need it. All he needed was duct tape to fix the handle. That was the only thing that happened.
What are some of the funny I guess funny looking back on them, but were like major crisis in the moment?
I know what you're referring to, Jeff. You're referring to 2022 when I deleted the registration for the match.
That minor detail, just it's just the registration.
The morning of the Saturday morning of staff shoot, I deleted the entire registration of the match. I thought I was going to die of a heart attack. I was so panicked and freaked out. And Robert Olson was the range master that year, and I'm like, I deleted it. Now here, if you're wondering, like, why were you deleting anything on Practice Score? Okay, I used Practice Score to have the stage building team put together. So you just signed up for free and squatted, like, I'll work on this stage on this day. I'll work on this stage on this day. Pretty little handy idea to, get help to build the stages. But it was in my way because it was always the top thing because it was Great Plains stage build, whatever. Well, it ended on that Friday, so it disappeared. So I went to go delete it. I was tired of running into it, and I went and deleted the top Great Plains thing, and I deleted the registration. What saved my ass was that I had already downloaded the registration to my phone. So I had the match. I didn't have to rebuild registration. It was already pulled down. Everything was cool as far as that goes. But what I did lose because of that was the ability to communicate with shooters because the registration was gone. Now, I've since learned I could have just like rebuilt it, imported from the tablet, and I could have emailed shooters and it would have been fine. But I could talk about this shit all day long, but we are giant nerds. This is what we do. Okay, so the match of the week. I didn't shoot a match, but you did.
I did, and I regret every minute of it.
What did you shoot?
I love my friends Todd and Michelle, but they're big Steel Challenge shooters.
You need to say no sometimes to them.
I do, especially look at the weather report before you sign up for a match.
Oh my God. Look at the weather report before you suggest to your 11-year-old, hey, buddy, should we go to the range on Sunday?
So today in the plains, it was about 25 degrees with 30-mile-an-hour winds.
It was a little warm. It was about 30 here.
Oh, okay. So
in the morning, it was like 25, yeah.
Yeah. And so I was
we didn't go to the range until like 2 o'clock, so.
Right. So I was like, oh, I'll shoot this steel challenge. And so when I woke up this morning, I was like, oh yeah, I left my sweatshirt in my truck. That'll be enough. And like I had my Under Armour like heat gear on. I'm like, I'll be fine. I literally got to my truck, which is I live in an apartment complex, so I park in a garage. So it's like a 100-yard walk, and I'm like, I should go back and get my coat, but I'm already running late. So just go. And that's a thing I'm not ever doing again. I'm making a cold survival pack for my car.
That was dumb.
Yes. So I was in a sweatshirt and heat gear, and I was ROing like 80% of the shooting. So, and also, here's a fun fact for those of you who have never shot in the cold: 22s do not work in the cold.
No, you pretty much have to like blast them with oil on every.
Or you have to keep. I had 7.
Or keep them warm.
Yes, I had 7 hand warmers in my front left pocket with all of my magazines for my 22 pistol, and so they were just like roasting in my pocket. I could feel it through 3 layers of clothing on my leg. That's how much heat was being produced. And I still have a stage where I almost threw my gun over the berm and I almost left. Like I was so pissed off. And like Steel Challenge isn't really my game, but I was just like, you know what? I'll hang out with my friends. Steel Challenge can be kind of relaxing, whatever. Nope. It was like, I hate this. I want to go home. It's the most miserable thing I've ever done. Don't shoot in the cold. It's not okay. If your job might require you to do gun stuff in cold, do that. If you don't have a job that requires gun stuff in cold, don't do it. Yeah. It's not worth it.
No, it's still fun to, I guess the only time I've ever done gun stuff, the most obvious gun stuff I do in the cold is hunting every year. Right. Now, that's bolt action rifles.
And like 2 shots, 3 shots?
Should only be 1.
Uh-huh.
It's not always perfect. I had to shoot my elk 3 times, but they're tough as shit. Especially when you're shooting from a steep angle and you're not aiming high enough. But
right.
But like I would make sure I used to hunt with my M1A because it was the only proper deer caliber rifle that I owned. It was a 308. So
right.
Otherwise it was a 223. Well, you can hunt deer with a 223, but a 308 is a lot better for hunting deer. So, but like that's a mechanism that, an M14 action is, as long as it's got some grease on it, it's going to run. Like that's not going to be a big problem.
Yep.
I found out I took my son to the range today because I said I think it was Thursday. Friday was an off day from school for them because the teachers in Sioux Falls have a really good union that gets them lots of days off throughout the year. And I said, "Hey, buddy, let's go to the range on Sunday because I don't have a class. I don't have anything going on." And he's like, "Yeah, totally." And he loves shooting. So we. I look out the window when I'm getting my coffee this morning and I'm like, fuck. It's literally snowing.
Yep.
It was just big fat flakes falling. It was right around 28 degrees. It didn't accumulate here. I guess further north it did, but I was just like, he's eating breakfast over there. I'm like, hey, so Tuesday, I don't have anything going on in the afternoon, like after school, and I get done with work. We could go to the range then. It's going to be a lot warmer. It'll be like 55 degrees. No, I want to go to the range today. I'm like, okay. I just wanted to give the option because I was trying to get out of it.
100%.
Well, and here's the other thing. It's windy 9 days out of 10 in South Dakota.
Yeah.
And today is one of those 9. And it was exceptional.
It was extra windy.
It was a little extra windy, So the wind chill is like 5. And we're out there. And he wants to shoot shotguns today. And I like the first shooting sport I ever did was trap shooting. And I haven't done it a lot. I have barely done it in adulthood. And I learned today that I might have a trap shooting prodigy in my house.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, because first off, I don't really know how to teach trap shooting,
Yeah.
I mean, I've shot clay birds that are flying, but usually it's been for 3-gun, and I just use a big fat wide choke to make sure I hit it. You know, if I'm just in the vicinity, I'll hit the flying clay.
Right.
But he's just using my old 870 I got when I was 11 years old, literally the same age he is now, and it doesn't fit him. And he's just like the first 5 birds I threw up, he smashed. And I'm like, shit. And this is like an automatic trap where it's like varying, you know, it's throwing back and forth. And literally the only targets he didn't hit all day were like the hard right or left. They were the only ones he didn't get. And I mean, he literally shot more birds than I mean, we shot about the same number of rounds and targets, and he broke more than I did. literally shot better than I did. And so
let's go shoot pistols.
I'm gonna kick your ass now, you little shit. But no, he's pretty good with a pistol too, but not nearly as good as he is with a shotgun. But my brother, he doesn't actively trap shoot anymore, but he used to be really good. He was a junior state champion. He kind of quit because he got bored with it, honestly. I was literally texting him like, I don't know what to tell him. Like, what you need to come shooting with us, and like, so you can explain stuff, because I don't know what I'm doing, you know? So, but it was really cool to watch him do that. I mean, he is just smashing clays. I would guess he probably broke 80% of the targets in the air. When I was his age, taking hunter safety, you get to shoot 25, and I broke like 9, you know? Just, yeah. I can't believe he was shooting that well. It was just absolutely, I was so proud. And here's the thing that was even cooler. I'm totally being a dad bragger right now. He was also he wanted to bring my 3-gun shotgun, which is a Stoeger M3000 that actually works after I replaced most of the trigger parts. Which is important with a Stoeger M3000. They work great as long as you replace most of the trigger parts. Buy a Franke, then you don't have to do that. This thing does not fit him at all. Okay, he has not hit his growth spurt yet. His brother all of a sudden is like a half a foot taller. They're just over a year apart. They're like 15 months apart. But that bird is out of the trap house for like a half second, and he's dusting it. And when I looked at what choke I had in the shotgun left over from Multi-Gun Nationals, I had a modified choke in the thing. Do you know chokes in shotguns, Jeff? I'm guessing not.
I was going to ask for you to explain it, because I know that one of them is big and one of them is not big.
Modified's pretty tight. Like, that's gonna keep it tight for a long ways, so you can reach out and hit something far away.
Okay.
Because I had the modified in it for when we were shooting pipes at like 25, 30 yards.
Right.
At Multi-Gun Nats. And also like clays that were way the hell out there on the sporting clay course. So it was, and he's dusting them. And you know, when it's closer, it's harder. You know, he's got to be more precise up close. And they're barely out of the trap, and he's dusting them. I'm like, oh my God. I got to learn how to shoot trap now.
One more activity.
He's clearly got, well, and the coolest thing was when I mentioned to him, I'm like, so you like this, huh? He's like, yeah. I was like, well, here, you know, I mean, there's no high school trap teams in Sioux Falls, but there is in the small towns. And I know if there's not one at your school, you're allowed to like join a different school's team, because it's not an actual sanctioned sport or whatever, you know, like with the Activities Association. And as I'm saying this, his eyes are just lighting up, and like, that's a thing? It's a high school sport?
Yep.
And just, yeah, I was, oh God, we had such a good day. Such a good day. And then we did go shoot pistol. A little bit. I didn't shoot. He wanted to shoot. It was his range day, so I'm like, yeah, okay. I helped him load mags. I mean, and this is the whole time we're there. Like, we'd each shoot a couple of rounds. You know, we'd each shoot 5 with one gun, then shoot 5 with the other gun, and then we'd go warm up at the truck for 5 minutes. And then we'd come back out and shoot again, back and forth. We did that a whole bunch. When we were shooting pistols, he pretty much was, you know, ammo is free for him, so he's just like going through the whole ammo can.
I've had a friend do that at the range where I'm just like, stop digging in there. Stop it.
No, I need to find my old 10-round magazines, and so he can't fill them. But then he always wants to bring my Smith & Wesson 686 revolver out.
Of course.
It's such a fun gun to shoot. Like, I'm not a revolver guy, but I love that gun.
Yeah.
And that was the only pistol I shot. And here's the thing I did that was a little weird. I'm actually right-handed. I mentioned this last week. I'm actually right-handed, but I shoot left-handed because I'm left-eye dominant, and that's how I learned shooting initially. Like, long guns, I'm a hardcore left-hander. Pistols, I swing both ways. I can shoot with either hand. Like, if I have to do weak hand only at a match, it's my strong hand. So it's easy. So just for grins, I pulled the revolver up with my right hand. And we were talking about this last week, like holding the gun in front of your dominant eye with your if you're left eye dominant and you're right handed, cross dominant.
Yep.
I literally just looked at the target as if I was shooting with my left hand and just brought it up, and it was not a thing. Like, I didn't even realize I was doing it. It was just boom. And I'm banging away. So I'm kind of regretting deciding 13 years ago when I started shooting pistols, shooting left-handed, because I could have just done it right-handed and my life would be so much simpler. But one other thing I want to mention, I did shoot a good 250 rounds with my Tac Sport Orange that Stonebridge Gunworks did the optic cut on.
Yep.
Which, by the way, if you didn't see the pictures on Instagram, it's gorgeous. Like, it's so it's sleek as hell. Vince, out of nowhere last night, messaged me. He's like, "Hey, I could modify it for an SRO." He must have listened to the episode last night. He could modify it because it is still the same footprint, but the SRO has an overhang, so you'd have to mill just a little bit more off of the slide forward of the main cut. But as Vince and I were talking back and forth, like, hey, that 507 comp's a pretty solid optic, and it's half the price of an SRO if you have access to buy it at wholesale, like both he and I do. So it's literally half the price of an SRO. And and he also mentioned the margin on an SRO is shit on anything Trijicon. There's no margin. And
interesting.
The Holosun stuff has got a fairly nice margin. So you can actually make money with their stuff. So it's not as durable, the Trijicons are tougher. Like, that was one thing that was for sure proven to me when I bent that plate on my Glock.
Yep.
Like, those optics are tough. Like, the Trijicon shit is built like a tank, for sure.
Right. Right. But you're paying for that tank.
But you're paying for that tank. Yeah. I mean, you are paying for that durability. And I will also say, I just sent in my second Holosun optic for a warranty replacement. Or warranty issue, because I won an optic. I won a 407C at a match last summer, and I just hadn't gotten around to putting it on anything. And I pulled it out, and it didn't turn on. I'm like, oh, the battery must be dead. So I ordered some more of those 1632 batteries because I didn't have any. Yep. And I put one in, and it still didn't turn on.
Yeah, they're...
So...
As much as the Reddit sphere likes to say that Holosun is...
I mean, they're pretty good.
They're pretty good. They're not perfect, but they're pretty good.
No. I mean, they do have some issues, some here and there, but they stand behind them, so that's good.
But they're all but at half the cost, you deal with a few more issues.
Right. Yeah, it's a trade-off.
You can always go buy a $700 aim point if you need to. And I mean, we had a guy today shoot and steal challenge with us who. He was a tactard to the extreme, like, and the theatrics he got into was remarkable. He was first started by explaining that he would shoot faster if he was shooting from concealment, which I said, you're welcome to do that. He was shooting a Shadow 2 with the
from
stock grips. No.
Oh.
It was outside the waistband, which I informed him he was allowed to use his thigh strap and he's like, oh, well, I've been training without the thigh strap. And so, like, I'm like, does it really make that much of a difference? Okay. But yes, he had a Shadow 2, and he complained that the beaver tail poked him in his fat, and I'm like, yeah, that's why you don't fucking carry him. But okay. And so, like, as an extreme competition dude, I forget my tactard roots sometimes because I was him. I know I was him. I shared the video with Andy of my first match, and I had the full tactical turtle, pull the gun into your workspace.
You
like,
went from
100%.
6'9" to 6'1" just from turtling into the gun.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. And this dude's like left arm was like above parallel, and his right arm his elbow was pointing downward. Like, that's how extreme his grip was.
Mm-hmm.
And
bet that gun didn't move.
You'd be surprised.
No.
It moved quite a bit. Like, he shoots a B class at Steel Challenge, which is a legitimate ability to shoot.
Yeah.
But the theatrics that went along with this, like, this dude he would drop a round into the barrel, then drop the slide, lower the hammer, then put the magazine in.
Masad Ayub says that's bad to do.
I don't know.
I hear that's bad to do.
It probably is, but the part that was theatrical, then he press checked. And I was like, bro, you put the round in the barrel. What are you press checking? I don't understand.
Well,
like,
I do. When I load and make ready, I always do a press check.
do you drop the round in the barrel?
No.
See, that's the difference. Because I would shoot my 22 that didn't want to run, and so I would also press check because you can't. You're not sure if it stripped the round from the magazine, because that's what you're checking when you press check.
Oh, I guess I always thought I was checking if it will extract it, like if the extractor caught it. Is what I always thought I was checking.
I've always thought it was you're checking to make sure the round made it into the chamber.
Well, that too. I'm making sure there's actually a round, like I didn't forget,
Right,
Like I didn't do it in the wrong order because like I'm that dumb. But I was always like, I mean, most of my practical shooting career, I've shot a Glock, and it's pretty hard for it to not. But
right,
I always want to make sure it's grabbing. I want to see. Yep, I remembered to chamber around, and the extractor's grabbing it.
Yep. Yeah,
I guess that's. I don't know if anybody else is looking for that, but I guess that's what I was looking for.
I can see that, but yeah, this dude just had every tactical thing checked off every time, and but his unload and show clear was literally like drop mag out, pull slide.
Does he
pull
drop
trigger.
the mag to the ground?
Yes,
That's so funny.
Well, so Steel Challenge, it's five runs of hopefully 5 rounds. The first time I had to tell him, I don't think there's enough bullets in your gun to complete the course of fire. You may want to. And of course, he brought it up to his workspace, had the new mag in his hand, took that mag out into his hand, put the new mag in, and then dropped that in his dump pouch. And I was like, bro, you're trying way too fucking hard here. Like, I mean, we're at a Steel Challenge match. Like, everyone else is shooting 22s. You're the only one shooting a centerfire gun. Like, maybe calm down a little bit. But yeah, the theatrics of a tactard and I appreciate you guys coming. I do. I want you to come to more matches. But like, I'm just really glad he didn't scan and assess the area.
After each string, yeah.
Right.
I'm checking.
I've had that a few times.
Oh God, that's funny.
Right. But yes, please, tactical people, come to our matches. You'll get so much better with a gun. But you could probably leave a few of the things at home.
Yeah. You wrote down a bunch of you would have made a great radio producer, Jeff. You had so much stuff written down before I even tried to think of anything. The ways that USPSA should advertise. When I was on, I finally listened back to the episodes of the Casual Shooters podcast I was on. Thank you very much, Dave, for having me on. And that was one of the things we talked about was sort of the marketing of USPSA. And I think it like right now, like as far as like trying to advertise and bring people into the sport, because right now I keep seeing ads for USPSA on my Instagram feed.
Really?
Yeah. Like they're sponsored posts. And it's like, oh, USPSA was so much fun. Like, you get out, come out, and you learn stuff, and there's great people, and blah. And it's like, makes me want to just bang my head against the wall. It's just very cheesy television advertising. I don't know what the keywords or, interests. I mean, I've done some advertising on Instagram, so it's basically like interests that you're keying in on and then demographics beyond that. So, I mean, if the demographic is shooting, like, then that's one of the reasons why it would key on me, or just outdoors, I mean, if they're
I'm just
casting
surprised
a wide
it
net.
hasn't come to me.
Yeah, but I have seen it on Instagram. So, but if they are targeting like USPSA, that's not a keyword they should be targeting, because you're trying to inform people that USPSA exists.
Right.
Not telling people who already know it exists that it exists. Like,
Correct.
That ad is wasted on me. So, my idea for advertising for USPSA is don't advertise. The sport sells itself. Fix the finances.
See, that's an interesting perspective, because I disagree completely.
What do you mean?
Well, so I got into the sport because of Shooting USA.
Oh, that's funny. We
But-
talked about that too, and I said on Casual Shooter, and I said I don't think they should spend money on Shooting USA
They shouldn't.
anymore.
They shouldn't 100%. So that's kind of where my point is going is Shooting USA never told me to go to Practice Score.
Oh yeah,
They never told me how to go sign up for a match. They showed me the highlights of
because USPSA doesn't
nationals.
really tell you to go to Practice Score to sign up for a match either.
Right.
Like in a
which is-
roundabout way they do, but not
but
in a
like
very
that's-
direct way.
Right, but that's like how you sign up. And going to your point, like if the goal, like USPSA as a core should be able to sell itself, because it is what it is. It's a competitive league.
When people come and shoot it, once they find it, they shoot it. They either love it or they don't.
Right, 100%. And so it's about getting eyes on the sport. And so, like, for me, I always thought the best way to do it is there's like 7 or 8 gun channels on YouTube that have 1 million plus followers. Why are we not like being like, hey, can you guys come shoot an area match and like then put it on your shit? Like,
Yeah.
or like,
That's
forgotten
not a
weapons.
bad idea.
Right, forgotten weapons, active self-protection. I mean, you could go Grantham, Lucas Botkins, like you could go into all these different realms. I mean, there is a question of like, are you going a little bit too deep into the realm, excuse me, that may get, a little controversial here and there, but like going to those specific places that talk about self-defense, talk about shooting specifically.
But like, I mean, I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about, but if of the channels you mentioned that are the least controversial, I would say probably Forgotten Weapons is probably very uncontroversial.
Right.
So, and he's got literally millions of followers. I mean, you met him. Has he ever shot USPSA?
He doesn't shoot USPSA, but he has done competitions. Him and another guy literally made a shooting sport. Like, and through their messaging, they have they've since kind of broken up anyways, but they have between 3 and 8 matches a year that fill up
Oh, wow.
around the country.
Yeah. So that would be a perfect one to just like, okay, here's a pile of money.
Right.
But we want you to produce like one entire episode of your show that's at least this long, and
Right. And for Forgotten Weapons, hey, shoot this with a Walther P38 or like, because literally that's what made, so it was a channel called, it is a channel called In Range TV. They would do like a 1911 versus a Luger, or like a K98 versus a Garand, or like, that's what made that channel. And you're like, oh, I am kind of interested in that. And so, and they would do they call them like 2-gun brutality matches. They're more of like a exercise tactical style match, but like, make a USPSA match and then get John Correa from Active Self Protection, or getting Ian from Forgotten Weapons, or I don't know, even maybe Othias from like C and Arsenal. Like he's got a bunch of nerdy followers. Like just getting more eyes on the shooting sports to people who are interested in guns specifically, I think could be a net positive that instead of just this general net marketing / the Shooting USA, like who watches Shooting USA? People who are already interested in USPSA, or like
people who are not, but they're interested in shooting.
Right. Or old people who still have TV and have the outdoor channel.
I kind of said the same thing on Casual Shooters podcast.
Exactly. Because
I don't have cable anymore. I don't even have YouTube TV anymore. I have a few streaming services and I have an antenna.
Right.
That's it.
Back in the day, to find Shooting USA, you had to have a specific outdoor channel package on DirecTV. And like
you still do. You can't just like get a subscription. Plus like 80-90% of what's on Shooting USA I'm not interested in. So
right, because they talk about cowboy action and bullseye 45 matches and blah blah blah.
It's off to Bianchi Cup with Shooting USA. Like, oh my god, the most boring shooting sport ever.
Right,
Bianchi Cup, awesome.
Right, but we pay large quantities of money to these guys, or at least let them profit 100% off of our sport.
That's the thing. They're not covering it. They're doing a long form advertisement for it. That's what it is.
Correct. And so there are ways to advertise that could be better. We probably need to.
And would probably be cheaper. Honestly, would probably be cheaper.
I'm pretty sure if you were like, hey Ian, here is like free entry and like all of your travel stuff paid, shoot this match, like, but everything's free. We'll pay all that, and he'd be like, okay, cool.
Well, if I'm Ian, I still want a few K out of that, but whatever.
Yeah, he probably want a couple bucks, but like then it goes to 300 or 3 million Forgotten Weapons followers.
No, like that's a huge audience. Like that's I mean, it's easy content for him if he's willing to do it, but that's a pretty obvious one. And here's the thing, I agree with you, but not right now.
Right now.
Right now,
let's right the ship.
Let's fix finances. Let's start spending less than we make, and fix that, and then.
Well, Speaking of fixing things, how do you think we should improve Practice Score? Because I think it's one of the worst apps to use.
What's wrong with Practice Score, Jeff? It's free. First of all, it's fantastic. We can do registration. We can take online payments. We can, do all that stuff, and it's free. We don't have to pay for it. I did make people pay $1 to Practice Score for the dark match. What's wrong with it? What do you mean it needs improvement?
I mean, it is funny trying to when you try to sync them all together, because they're not all one united match, and they're all 5 individual matches and 5 individual nooks, and then you have to bring them together, and then the magic hopefully happens, and that's always fun. And trying to syncing together I was talking to Todd, the match director for the Cornhusker Classic, and he was explaining to me how he has to go through manually and see how many A-class shooters there are and how many B-class shooters, and then update their things manually, and
that's an automatic operation. You don't have to look. You just do a thing and it does it.
He was explaining there was a portion of it that he had to do manually that I was like, isn't that a basic Excel function?
Well, there are certain reports that could be more easily created. And here's the thing, it may exist, but finding it is the hard part.
It is unnavigable.
It is not an easy to navigate app. For scoring itself, it's okay. They've gotten that pretty well dialed in, but you pretty much have to experiment and fail and screw around and figure stuff out, because they don't have a manual. Their online support website is the search engine is terrible. You type in a thing and you'll get something with the same words but has nothing to do with what you're searching. That's really frustrating. I will say this though, if you post a question, they do get back to you. Their support team will get back to you. There's a few people who are either developers or avid users of it, and whenever I've written in questions, I got answers pretty damn quick. So I got to give them kudos for that. They haven't had a iOS developer for a long time, so iPads are not the way to go anymore. Something Android, preferably. I'm getting out of the Kindle space. I'm going full on Android because Android tablets are just better. So every tablet we get from now on will be an Android tablet. But as it is right now, the thing I would just like is just, talk to some 5-year-old who knows how to run every tablet electronic device in the world and ask them how they would like it set up. And then that can be the layout for the buttons and finding things. It's just very hard to find stuff. They just need to find someone who is not a software engineer, developer, nerd. Someone who knows how to translate complicated technology to simple end users,
Right.
Like someone at Apple would be good because iPhones are so much easier to use than Android phones are. Sorry, Android people, they just are. I used to be an Android user. I'm now an iPhone user, and I'm happier. We're still enslaving Chinese children. Doesn't matter which one of us you are. But anyway, I kept waiting for someone to give me shit for my plate that I got for my Glock. Like, oh, that's just some Chinese-made piece of shit. You could have got an American-made plate. Oh, like the phone you're typing that comment on? Sure. Okay.
Exactly.
What would you fix on Practice Score, Jeff?
I would like to make profiles for the people and then that profile signs up so that I don't have to fill in the same information every time. It is that profile that signs up, and that way it's constantly updating, so I don't have to update it myself. And fill in the same 7 form slots every time.
Okay, you're talking about as a shooter or a match director user?
So that one's as a shooter. As a match director,
that's a lot of chat. So I'm not a computer science person, but I've done enough web development to know all this data is stored in databases, and the only way to update it is to go check it. Now, your phone always has updated shit because it's doing it automatically all the time in the background.
Right.
But that also eats up a lot of data, and it eats up processor capacity and RAM, and it's eating up resources.
There is a degree of it, but my gym, we have an app that updates people's profiles on a regular basis. So
but that's assuming that app is running on the assumption that everyone's got internet.
Right. And so
Practice Score, you don't always have internet everywhere you are.
And that might be part of my perspective is it's the idea that we have 5 unlinked scoring tablets that are just modifiable, and when you put them together, they should all just hopefully sync together and it'll work. That doesn't make sense to me.
What do you mean 5 different matches?
Well, because each Nook is... So we ran into an issue at Cornhusker Steel Challenge where someone locked a stage so that it couldn't be changed or something like that. And so when it got imported back into the master, it corrupted the
Whoa.
Something happened where the times weren't right. People were in the wrong places, and it was because someone had modified their version of the match on their tablet, and then when it was brought back into the hive mind, it warped everyone else's data. I don't remember the specifics.
That's a normal function, because I've always thought it was funny how at some matches, Iowa in particular, they really want everything to be perfect before the tablets go out. And
Right.
my attitude is sort of like, well, if it's not perfect, we'll fix it on the stage. And then when they get synced, it'll get fixed.
Right. And it's one of those like,
that may be because they have older institutional knowledge of sometimes that causes problems that I have not run into,
right.
you know, and maybe that's why they do that. And that could be like what you're talking about. But for the most part, if you change like a shooter, you know, as like
that easily updates. Yes.
Yeah. But this sounds like a weird thing. Like,
well,
you found a bug that doesn't have a patch yet.
Right, it could have been, and then like setting up some non-USPSA matches that are within the Nook can be kind of weird. So like I run a sport called Pro-Am, which is basically like you have a part time and it's just how many pieces of steel you knock down. Well, for some reason, one of the versions of Pro-Am for some reason they have a field that allows you to put the time in there. Well, what happens is instead of putting the number of plates knocked down, they just put the time in there. And so I have to manually go back through it and like unfuck the fuck up.
Yeah.
And it's like, why is this here? I don't understand. Like, and so there's a lot of intricacies to Practice Score that I think could be improved and made more user friendly than they are in its current form. I think it's a very simplistic
100%.
app.
It's so powerful. It's hard to manage, and it's hard to lay things out in a way that's simple. I would say the same about the USPSA website. Like I kind of alluded to it earlier. Like their website doesn't tell you very simple, basic information. It's a really powerful website. Like the functionality that Bratzel has built into that thing is, I mean, it gets data from Practice Score to do your match uploads. It's super, in some ways it's fantastic. And in other ways, like you have a hard time finding very simple information because you have, 5 heading menus and then 47 options underneath that.
Right.
And if I search something, I did notice there's been an update to the search engine in the website, so it's easier to find stuff. But it's also one of those websites where I just go to Google and search uspsa.org space the thing I'm looking for.
Right.
And I let Google find it for me. So, but no, I mean, it's like, I just lay out the buttons and what's happening in a simpler fashion.
I think that'd be a great start.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, it's such a powerful tool that, there are blinky-eyed computer scientist types running matches who are like, what's wrong with it? It seems fine to me. I don't know what you're talking about,
Right.
But
so to finish this off for this episode, I have a question for you because you are a use of force expert. Is that too strong a term for you?
I don't know.
A teacher?
I get regular education on use of force when it comes to concealed carry permit class participants. So I guess I'm more of an expert than the average person, but if someone wanted me to come testify to trial, I'd be like,
Okay, so I was asked this by an acquaintance of mine, or I was told this, is that to use a shotgun in self-defense legally, I need to have a staggered number of birdshot and buckshot in the tube. Have you ever run into that? Is that written in South Dakota law? Like, is that a thing?
Retardando. That's not a thing. So here's the thing that there's a lot of okay. There's two aspects to the law that everybody knows but doesn't factor in when they think about things. One is criminal law, the other is civil law. Civil law means I have a dispute with you and I want a remedy to that enforced by a court. So if I have been harmed in some way, I file a lawsuit. You can sue anybody for anything. I mean, you can file anything. I mean, it may not go anywhere, but you can literally file anything. When it comes to crimes, okay, there has to be articulable facts to support a charge of whatever. Okay. Nowhere in South Dakota firearms law does it say anything about using shotguns in self-defense and staggering birdshot and buckshot every other. So the way self-defense law is written in South Dakota, these phrases are used together a lot. To use or offer to use deadly force or force that's capable of causing serious bodily injury or death, meaning shoot a gun or draw a gun. Okay. If I use deadly force, if I shoot at you and miss, I still use deadly force.
Right.
Like, if I shoot you in the leg, I still use deadly force. That's not less lethal. I use deadly force, period.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Right. So what you're saying is basically like once deadly force is authorized, it doesn't matter the deadly force you use because it has been authorized within the context of a self-defense law.
Like going through there's like the constitutional standard, like when it comes to deadly force, and this is taught differently in different states. This is what I'm getting from the academy, the law enforcement training center in Pierre, South Dakota, where most cops in South Dakota go to get their training. It's means, opportunity, and jeopardy, or ability, opportunity, and jeopardy. Someone, the subject has to have the means of deadly force. They have to have the opportunity to use it, and then someone must be in imminent jeopardy of serious bodily injury or death. Those three things must be all together in time and space before a use of deadly force to defend someone is legal.
And so if someone has met those three criteria,
right,
deadly force is authorized, and there's no written exemption of like, well, you can use this amount of deadly force, but not this kind of deadly force. It's either
deadly force or not. Like,
okay,
yeah. Like, and that's like the constitutional standard. Like that comes from Supreme Court case decision.
Okay.
Like state law, like in South Dakota is, it's very similar, but it's also predicated on that, So like that's part of it. So, oh shit, a picture just fell off the shelf right in front of me. It scared the hell out of me. But no, I've had people say, well, the last concealed carry instructor I had said I couldn't use hollow points, that they're illegal.
What? My instructor said using FMJs will make you look worse.
And here's the truth. It doesn't fucking matter. Another thing that I have heard for a million years, but every time you Google it, all you see is like forum, Reddit bullshit about it. Is, well, if I reload my own ammo, I'm going to go to prison if I have to defend myself. Why would that happen? If you were justified, someone broke into your house and they were coming towards you with a knife and you shot them with ammo that you hand loaded yourself, what fucking difference does it make?
Right.
Like, it was either justified or it wasn't. Now, there were some cases, like, it made some people in the law enforcement and use of force community very paranoid back in, like, the 70s and 80s when Janet Reno was attorney general in, or was like a state's attorney or something like that in Florida, I believe. And cops had made their triggers lighter. And so she went after them for having like custom triggers and guns, making it too easy. Like they wanted to kill people and making these stupid ass arguments. And
that's where that comes from.
And I read this in a magazine article a long time ago, and I don't remember the specifics of it, but that's sort of some of the genesis of this lore and dogma that's been coming down.
Would you say another one of the examples that gets used is the guy? It was, I believe, an Arizona police officer that shot a guy that was kneeling with an AR, and his dust cover said like "get fucked" or it was something on the dust
Now-
cover, but
That's a thing where, I mean, it's not a good look, but at the same time, like that's usually, I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not, I don't know everything about this, but
Right.
to me, this just seems like something that would be more useful in a civil case than a criminal trial. Like
okay.
the fact that the gun said, you're
Yeah.
fucked or whatever. Like, I don't know how much that matters. Like, did they have a firearm? Like, whatever decorations are on it are sort of irrelevant, you know?
Yeah.
But, I mean, but it, you know, lawyers can make arguments for anything. So anything that's on it can be, an argument can be made for it.
Right,
You
and
know.
I think that was one of the, because the argument was technically made, but the cop was acquitted.
Right.
So,
It's a stupid argument, but an argument can be made. Now, like when it comes to the reloaded ammo, like, oh, I'm going to prison if I shoot somebody with my, like if I justifiably shoot somebody with my hand loads because I used XTPs with tight group, I'm going to go to jail. Okay. I get being afraid of that. I don't use hand loaded ammo because sometimes my hand loaded ammo doesn't work.
right.
So I buy that stuff. I buy quality. Have you ever noticed that the bullets that they use in those types of cartridges are hard to acquire if you can acquire them as a component at all? Like
Yeah,
you
makes
can
sense.
buy gold dot bullets, but they're really hard to get.
Yeah.
You can't buy Hornady FTX bullets. They don't sell them as a component. They only sell them in loaded ammunition. So, I buy factory ammo for self-defense because it's probably better than what I would load. Now, can a reloading nerd make better ammo if they have access to those quality projectiles? Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with that. But it's not. I mean, again, any argument can be made in a court of law, but I actually read a Reddit thread that was talking about this whole like reloaded ammo for self-defense thing. And this lawyer chimed in on this Reddit thread about how, yeah, I hear that all the time, but every time I go searching for it, I cannot find a single case anywhere in the United States where this has even been a factor.
Right.
Now, could an argument be made? And then he goes into this very long spiel about how, yes, it's possible. Like, it is a concern, but if the only bullets I have in my house are my range pickup brass, Winchester primers, tight group, blue bullets, and someone breaks into my house, they're getting shot with blue bullets.
Right. And you have that presumption, again, because you're in South Dakota, you have that presumption that you are.
We have, if
legally
someone's
shot-
breaking into my house, it's a law I like to call the fuck around and find out. It's a presumption of fear of serious bodily injury or death. So if someone's breaking into my house, and this is just like breaking into your house or trying to remove you from your car, or they're already in your house, the law basically is completely on your side. So if like you maybe make a mistake, like, it's in your house, like, you know, and there's exceptions where you could still get in trouble for things. Like if I'm sneaking into my house and my wife shoots me, well, I live here. That's different, you know, and there's no restraining order against me. Like that's a different story. But, yeah, it's a lot of this stuff is just like old dogma that happened from some paranoid case that happened in the 70s or 80s, and it's just hung around forever. And like I've Googled for these things and I haven't found anything. Plus, okay, outside of shooting somebody with like a blue bullet, okay, if I bought Hornady XTPs that were fired with Hornady bullets or Hornady cases, I could load it with propellant. Now, I suppose they could test it, you know, to see if, you know, did he load that himself or did he buy it from Hornady? Okay. Well, if I was justified in my use of force, who gives a shit?
Right.
Like,
Right.
this is the
At the-
thing that people are like having arguments on the internet about. Like, let's spend more time learning how use of force works and quit worrying about where you're getting your bullets.
Seems logical.
Yeah. That's just me. I mean, Again, I'm not the foremost expert on this stuff. I've been teaching it for 8 years 8 years now. So I don't know it all, but I know how at least the law works in South Dakota and how a lot of the Supreme Court case stuff is taught to police officers. Like I'm just teaching, I'm teaching what I was taught by the people who teach police officers. So, I, as far as some of this minutia, like whatever, I don't know. But one thing I know for sure, you don't need to put fucking birdshot every other with buckshot in your home defense shotgun. I know that for a fact. In fact, birdshot is just going to piss them off.
Yes.
Like, birdshot's terrible. I love the Fear of the Walking Dead. Did you ever watch that show? The spinoff of The Walking Dead?
I watched a lot of I watched some of it, yeah.
There was so much bad gun stuff in The Walking Dead, but one great thing that was in that show was this woman shoots a zombie in the face with a shotgun, but it was birdshot, and this guy explains to her, no, you cannot use birdshot. You must use buckshot. You just peel their face off. It was so funny. But
wow,
it was like the one true thing. I know.
Yeah.
Like that was like the one accurate thing. It wasn't the guy with the patch on his eye aiming through a scope with the patched eye.
Right, or the woman running with a J-frame revolver making headshots at like 25 yards.
On the run, yeah. Even Rick Grimes with his Python. I mean, the OG Pythons were pretty good guns from what I understand, but 50-yard headshots, double action? Are you kidding me?
Right.
I don't think so. Anyway, well, thanks for getting me all wound up at the end, Jeff. God damn. MW Activewear for your match jersey needs. They're fantastic. Get one. We're getting some for the Great Plains Hit Factor match. What else? Matches. Sign up for matches. Great Plains Hit Factor, SRSC Dark Match, Cornhusker Classic. Now, we are sort of like, as other podcasts tend to be, like we're sort of centric in where we live, but like we talk about stuff that other people care about. We're trying to branch out. Like we were talking about this before the show. Like we need to, we're eventually going to do interviews. I've just sort of trying to figure out how we're going to do that and not screw up the vibe we got going, because people seem to like the show we're doing already. But I kind of want to have some people on from around the country and people we know and people that are just interesting or honestly funny. I'm more interested in that than anything else. But like again, go to our Reddit that we just started. It's the subreddit is NASS. Just look for NASS on Reddit, and that's us. And yeah, anything else, Jeff? Did we do enough damage? I think we did.
I think we've done a lot of damage.
Okay. Well, he's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show.